Happy and healthy altitudes to you. Hello, I'm Gary Giannetti, and I'm coming to you from Healthy Altitudes, Colorado.
Hello, everyone. It's Dr. Matt coming to you from sunny North Carolina and yourpeakmind.com. Nice to be here today, Gary. Hope you're doing well.
Doing A-OK, as well as I can through this coronavirus craziness.
Awesome. So what's on the line today?
Well, we were talking a little bit offline here before we started recording about follow through, and I wanted to follow through and do a quick video on follow through. I hear a lot of folks say, I want to start, exercising. And now, especially getting back to some things in normal life, people may or may not be able to go to a gym right away, but the follow through of joining a gym, but then using your membership, that's something too that's really important. Follow through of, hey, I want to quit smoking, and then following through to quit for good. Following through with things. So it's not just through COVID-19, but it's for your life, right? You're making a change for your life, following through. And I guess that can mean different things for everybody. Different people have different ways to follow through. But I started thinking about it because as gyms start to reopen, a lot of people have canceled memberships. I think that people should start thinking about, do I need to go back to the gym, or can I keep following through with being active on my own? I don't necessarily need to go to a gym. And I know it could put me out of business, but I'm not a gym. I believe in helping people follow through because I think that if you start following through with things, then you'll find something else you want to follow through with. That's where I come in as a coach, not a gym. And I think that that's also where you might fit in as well as a psychologist. We all have things we can improve on psychologically daily, minute by minute, right? We all have things we can improve on. We have to follow through with improving on each of those things. So a couple quick points I was going to touch on real quick about follow through. Figuring out, really diving into yourself and saying, what are some things that I've really followed through with, right? What are some things I've done really well? I started with the goal and then I got to the end. I finished. I got through that finish line. What's one thing I did that with? How did I do that? That's one step. The next step is think about what works for you. What systems help you get to that goal? Is it writing down your goal? Is it putting it on a calendar? Is it using a habit tracking app? What works for you? What system worked to get you to that goal? And then the third piece is really thinking about how good you felt after you reached that goal. And thinking about what that feeling was in your head and keeping that in your head, or writing down or finding a picture of what that felt like when you reached that goal, or putting it front and center, right on your dresser, right in your closet, right on your mirror that you use in the morning. So those three things, what your goal is, how you got to it, what systems you use to get to it, and then the third one is how you felt after you got to that goal. That'll help you follow through more successfully. Those are 3 points that I want to just mention, Dr. Matt, and I'm sure you can add on that as a psychologist. What do you think?
Well, the thing about it is, Gary, is the idea of follow through is actually very, very empowering. And unfortunately, it's also like a double-edged sword, because people that say, I want to follow through, I want to follow up, I want to continue on my path, that sort of thing, sometimes for them that can be very empowering until they're unable to follow through, follow up, or follow that path. And then they start to feel a little bit dejected or discouraged. So here's the really neat thing. And we've talked about intentionality a bunch of times on our little shows here. And the idea of following through can be so amazingly empowering if you find just one reason that day, that moment, to be a hero for yourself. How can I get over the hump of I don't feel like doing this right now? What do I get out of that? And if you think about it from an intentionality perspective, if your intention is to exercise, to take this walk, to eat this particular food, to say nicer things to my family members, something like that, whatever you're happy to be trying to follow through with, can be so empowering. Once you accomplish that, that then sort of fits into a little bit of a success wheel, if you will, where if you say to yourself, I want to do this thing, and then think about having done this thing, you actually begin to make yourself feel much better, much stronger. And as Gary said, you're more likely to do it again because you've accomplished the goal that you've set out to do. So that's where the big empowerment comes from. Sometimes following through can be a little bit daunting, but if you take those small steps, if you take those small pieces and say, this is what I need to do to follow through appropriately, all of a sudden you're there, you're in the middle of it. You've done your 20th push-up or your second mile or whatever you're trying to do. And then once you sit down, you've got that nice tall glass of cool beverage in your hand looking back. You know what, I just did this 5 miles. I just followed through with something I really wanted to do. There's not a greater feeling in the world than having achieved that for yourself. So
yeah.
Psychologically speaking, follow through can be negative, but it can also be the most empowering thing that you can possibly do. So I wish you well as far as following through. I think that's a great thing to have and a lesson to learn, not just for COVID, but for your life.
Yeah, thanks, Dr. Matt. I think that's a real good goal that we can all strive for in some ways in our lives, every single person. Whatever that is for you, I hope that it keeps a positive experience and then you can feel fantastic and empowered, like Dr. Matt said, when you're done. So thanks, Dr. Matt, for taking some time for talking about that and following through to help record this one.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for having me, and thank you so much for watching today with us. I'm Dr. Matt.
Thanks, Dr. Matt. Be active, eat well, and stay happy for your life.